budget knives, one of my favorite topics of all time because they're cheap. They can give you that little dopamine hit when you got to buy a knife and you got to have something fun. Or it's an easy way to get somebody into outdoors and bushcrafting and using outdoor tools. And with that, we've got a lot of budget options for you that I'm going to kind of show you around so you can make a judgment on what might be best for you. But all of these knives are very budget friendly, very easy, and they are amazing. Sometimes they're better than $200 knives, depending on the application, but the application is the outdoors, and that's what we're focusing on today. Let's bring you in real close. We'll take a look at these knives. All right, first on this list of budget options, we are going with the Mora Basic. Now, this is remarkable. I mean, I am in love with this knife. I've probably purchased over 50 in my time of having them just because they are so great. I give them as gifts, so this is the only one I have right now, this nice orange. I do love an orange. Beautiful Scandi grind. This thing is razor sharp out of the box. Mora does an amazing Scandi grind. Most of these budget options are going to be Moras because they are so damn good at what they do. The sheath is just some plastic, but it does the job well. It has this little clip that'll clip to other Mora Basics, and you can have a chain gang of these things hanging off your pockets. They have floating ones, they have blunt tip ones, they have chisel ones. Whatever you're looking for, the Mora Basic has got you covered. It's got a hand stop at the top so you don't have to worry about your hands sliding up on the blade. Nice little pummel right there. I mean, it is plastic, so I wouldn't go breaking any nuts with it or anything, but as the name suggests, it is a basic knife, and it just gets the work done. I don't know what to tell you. It is great to give to a kid to learn how wood carving works and get used to the handle and the blade and really start their knife journey. This is also great for giving to a buddy you're going to take up in the outdoors, and where you can find these for $15 to $20, why not? You can throw an extra one in your truck, in your car. I always keep a Mora in one of my vehicles just because of how goddamn useful they are. They are amazing little knives. And the Basic, it fits your hand. It's a wide boy. It just holds your hand really well. And something to note with these plastic sheaths, what's really nice is it's just got this simple little clip. So you can clip it onto your boot, onto your pocket, onto your belt, onto a necklace, onto a backpack strap. There's so many ways to carry this knife. It makes it so versatile. Highly recommend. Now, if you're looking for something a little bigger, little nicer, next up is the Mora Companion. Now, this has been one of my favorite Moras for a very long time. I've used this thing a lot. I've bought a couple. Just about everybody in my family and friends group I've probably given one to. Stainless, made in Sweden, Mora knives. They're beautiful Scandi grind. You can see I've put some work in on this. And it fills the hand up really nice. Plastic right here, rubberized grips. It doesn't have the little sheath dongle part right there, but it does have a little wall hanger loop right there. Made in Sweden on the black. This is plastic as well. But I mean, this thing just puts in the work. You can use it for hours on end wood carving, processing wood, and it just works. If this really catches your eye, I highly recommend it. At the $20 to $25 range, I don't see why you wouldn't get it. I've used this as a steak knife for a very long time. It works great. Nice thinner blade profile, but it can still put in some really good work. Now, getting into my favorite knives. This is the Mora Elderus. Now, this is designed as a little neck knife. I have it as like a pocket knife, keychain knife. I just dangle it. I ended up breaking the plastic, so I have it kind of electrical taped up. And this thing gets beat to hell. You can see how much I've used it, and it just keeps asking for more. Now, what's nice about this knife is it still fills your hand up. I can get all 4 of my fingers. I wear an extra large glove, and this thing, for just sitting by a campfire whittling, being a little companion pocket knife, this thing just gets after it. It's got the thinner up top, a different grind, and then right here's their traditional Scandi grind. So you're getting 2 different grind profiles, and it gets thinner as it gets to the tip. And just the amount of work you can put with this tiny little blade is insane. Now, what's really nice about this compared to the last 2 we just went over, the basic and the companion, is this has a really great 90-degree spine to hit a ferrule rod. You can see I've been using this thing to light fires for a very long time, and it just scrapes and really sparks that ferrule rod, where something like the basic, you can kind of get a little spark going, but absolutely nothing to start a fire with. And that's one thing the Elderus has going for it, is that 90-degree spine, the 2 different blade angles that you get. I've used this for processing food. I've skinned a rabbit with this, fleshed its hide. I mean, this thing is a workhorse for a little companion knife. Very small, you can keep in the pocket, strike your ferrule rod, get that spark going. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't have this. It really doesn't take up that much room. And what's nice about this sheath, same thing, plastic sheath, just friction held inside there. But you can put it, and it'll lock in like that. And now you got a little bit bigger of a handle if you need to get your hand away from the blade. If you're doing some whittling and you just don't want to be too close and you're scraping your knuckles, you can hold it down here. Index your thumb right here, fits perfectly, and do a little wood carving. It works amazing for just little wood carving. You get a great purchase still, and you can just carve away. And I love the versatility of it. Nothing's to waste, and ambidextrous. You don't have to put it in any specific way, left-handed, right-handed, it all goes in the same. And that brings me to my favorite Mora. The one I can never remember the name of. I think it's called the Malburger, something like that. I cannot remember the name, but I love this knife. Same thing, you can run it as a neck knife. It's got really great retention, so it's not falling out. Comes with this little belt loop that's just held on by this little piece of plastic that slides over it. This will also fit on the Elderus sheath if you needed that. You can also buy more expensive options that slide onto the sheath and have a ferrule rod and all that. If you're looking for just a whole bushcraft setup with something like this. Now this, I love this handle. It's got the plastic right here with the rubberized parts around, so you get really great grip, a lanyard hole, little striking pummel. Like I said, it's plastic. All these are rat tail tang as well, so you don't want to be treating these like you would an SC survival knife with full tang that you beat the ever snot out of, but you can, and I have. And what's really nice about this is that has the same as the Eldris, where you get these two different blade angles you can see. And it's thinner up top, better for slicing through food and processing game and stuff like that. And then you got this Scandi grind right here for doing your feather sticks and your small shavings and your wood carving and your notching. 90-degree spine on this one again, and it is fantastic. The only thing I've found much better is an LT right knife, and you are paying a lot more for an LT than you are for something like this. Now, this and the Eldris are going to be more in the $30, $40 price range, so they are a little more expensive, but I mean, what you're getting out of these is fantastic. And I'll do a little wood processing and show you guys how these really work, mainly with this guy right here, made in Sweden, stainless. They also have some carbon options. I really like these stainless for beater knives. I don't have to worry about keeping them oiled or anything like that. They take an edge super well, hold an edge really well. I mean, these things are trucks. They just keep on running. These are the Toyotas of the knife world. If this is catching your eye, I highly recommend getting it. Like I said, I can't remember. Cons Bowl. Maybe it's called the Cons Bowl. All right. Mora Cons Bowl. Check it out. This thing has been my favorite Mora knife. It just feels so great in the hand. Whatever position I have it in, no matter how I'm using it, if I'm pinching up on it, if I'm indexing, I mean, this thing just puts in the work and keeps asking for more. And same thing, ambidextrous sheath. I can wear this on my left, on my right. I'll wear this as a neck knife. I'll loop it through this string with my ferrule rod and use it as a neck knife. I mean, I love this. I keep this knife in my truck at all times just so I have it if I need it. And it has yet to fail me yet. Now, with all this talk of Mora, I do have to give some shout outs. This knife is a Mora knockoff or a Mora clone, even down to the sheath. This is a Jorgensen knife, I believe. Apparently they make gardening equipment. I picked this up on a Black Friday sale a while ago, and I've been using it. I got it for like $8. I think it's still on Amazon right now for $10. It is really bright. That is a really bright orange. And the retention on this sheath is a lot more than a Mora. I mean, this thing holds on. It's got the knife emblem right there at the bottom that I actually kind of enjoy the look of that. Now, one of the main differences between this and what you will see with the Mora Companion or the Mora Basic is this does not have any rubberized part to it. It's just hard plastic. Now, I don't really like that because out here it's cold, it's wet, it's winter time. I'm out by a lake. I mean, this thing gets really slippery in my hands, but the design of it is kind of a mix between these two. Now you can see the handle really looks like a mixture between the Basic with the finger choils and the girthiness and elongated handle shape of the companion, which actually lends itself really well to not having that rubberized piece. It still feels so great in the hand, really locks your hand in place. Not as comfortable with a back hold or a side hold. Pinching, it's kind of comfortable, but right here, this is where you're going to get your work out of it. I mean, this blade is a carbon steel blade, which these are stainless, and I typically stick to that on these cheaper knives, but this carbon steel has been putting in work, and it just keeps asking for more. Now, the spine, not 90, not great, don't love it, but, I mean, look at that reflective, even for a carbon steel. I mean, it's still nice, shiny, reflective. And the 90-degree, I mean, that is kind of a deal breaker, but so it is for those. And for $9, I mean, the Scandi grind you get with this blade and how sharp it is, I've received $200 knives that weren't even close to as sharp as this came for $9. I mean, it just eats wood with that Scandi grind. So if you're looking for the cheapest option possible, you just gotta get a knife, or maybe you're buying a knife for a bunch of groomsmen, or you're taking a bunch of Boy Scouts out in the woods, or you just want to get one for everybody in your family. This really is a good option. It is a knockoff of a Mora, but at the end of the day, it's competition. We're in a world of competition. Now, is this going to compete with something like this guy right here? Hell no. I'm going to pick this every day. But for $9, I think we can all come up with $9 to get a knife like this. And if it's going to be your first fixed blade knife, I say finish this video and go buy it on Amazon right now, because I don't know how many they have in stock, how long they're going to keep making them, but this thing puts in the work, and I have put it to work, and I'll show you guys me using it a little bit. It just keeps asking for more. I really enjoyed this little Jorgensen knife. It works nice. I've even thought about breaking this handle and putting a wood handle on this blade. I don't know if it's rat tail like these two, but I mean, this blade has held up great, and I haven't had to sharpen it yet, and I've put in quite a bit of work on it. And I did save the best for last. These are BPS knives. This one is about 6 years old, I believe. And wooden handle, leather sheath. And back when they were making these were $15. Now, BPS is still making knives. I haven't seen them make this rat tail tang model in a very long time. And if they still do make it, I'm going to pick me up some more, but I haven't seen it. I've turned this into a neck knife. I cut this piece of leather that goes around your belt loop, and I've made this a primary neck knife. And I've used this thing for years. I've wood burned into the sheath, a rune, some knots, and a paw. The wood is holding up great. Haven't had a problem with that. And you can see this blade has been through it. Now, I believe these ones are a carbon steel. Yep, it says right there on the blade, carbon steel BPS knives. And oh my God, do I just love this knife. I mean, the handle, the wood, the leather. I mean, that you're getting a beautiful leather sheath and an amazing knife for $15. It still blows my mind. There are people charging $100 for sheaths that look no different than this piece of leather right here. It is a thick piece of leather, welts, beautiful stitching. And these are out of Ukraine. I can't remember if I said that. But they make a lot of different knives. Bushcrafting knives, survival knives, EDC knives. But this thing, it's just lightweight. And it gives me all that same joy that I get from using a Mora, but more, because it matches the aesthetic I really like of leather and wood. And especially after I wood burned it, this just became one of my favorite pieces to use. BPS knives, you can get them on Amazon. And these are great budget options. They have options up to $80, I believe, and options as low as $20. I highly recommend it. And they also make full tang blades, where a Mora, to get a full tang Mora, you're looking at like $100. You can get a full tang BPS knife for, I believe, $20 to $30. I've had many of their different blade shapes and designs. I always end up giving them to friends or people I meet in my travels just so they have a good blade. And that really attests to why I love these as much as I love my Moras, is they are cheap. I give them out to a lot of people and they keep working for me. Even when I have these really expensive, nice, handcrafted, designed bushcraft knives, I always find myself going back into the mountains with these. Now, to show you guys some real world use options with these, I'm going to do a little bit of batoning on some wood and show you how these can really hold up to some pretty decent abuse. And where it's wet out here, I grabbed some drier wood from my house. But doing some nice baton work through a piece like this, and why it's nice to baton through pieces like this is to get to that nice dry wood in the center, especially when it's wet out here. You want to get to that dry wood in the center to start a fire. Trying to get wet, damp wood on the outside to dry out just doesn't work out that well. And you can see this Consbull, for not being a full tang blade, just eats through these pieces. And it's really not that thick of a blade stock either. Now, what's nice, carry around something like this. Instead of wasting my time trying to get really nice feather sticks, I can throw that down and hurry and just run this Scandi down on the blade like that and get these really thin, nice pieces that I can just bunch up in a ball afterwards when I'm done to strike with my ferrule rod. And you can see this thing just curls the wood off. This is one of my favorite carving knives. If I'm going to be starting a carving project, this is honestly, well, it is the knife I grab. If I'm going to be carving something or making a bow or a bow drill set or any carving activity out here in the woods, I'm always going to have my hatchet on me, and I'm always going to have this Mora Consbull. Now, the basic and the companion of the Moras, they work the same. They're about the same. You're always going to be able to do some light batoning. Now, do I recommend doing this in a survival situation? Probably not. These are rat tail tangs. There's always the possibility of you breaking them, and I have heard of people breaking them before. I've only broke one, and I was doing a lot of dumb shit with it that you're really not supposed to do with any knife. But it works. this Jorgensen knife. Let's see if we can take a big chunk off this with this Jorgensen knife. Gonna try and get a good angle on that. Let's see. Might have grabbed too big of a piece for this blade. And like I was saying, this Jorgensen knife just bites into the wood and just rips right through it. You can get the fine feather sticks, no problem with this. If you do want to work on your bushcrafting skills and get beautiful little feathers and curls, or if you really want to bite in and just take the whole piece off, this Jorgensen is great. Now, am I going to be batoning with something like the Eldris? Maybe tiny little twigs to make kindling, but with that short little blade stock, there's just not going to be anything I can baton through it. But this BPS knife, being as small as it is, I am not worried in the slightest. I've been
Are you sure about that?
batoned a lot with this particular blade. Oh shit.
I am full of regret. I can't.
You just saw that on camera. I broke it. See, and that's why we do these things. Oh, damn, that's sad. Man, let me bring that up to the camera. Look at that. Stuck right in there, too. But that's why we do these things, to show you the limitations of these blades. God damn, that's some sad shit right there. I've had this thing for a while. This is a pretty naughty, gnarly piece of wood. But that's why you don't want to use these in a survival situation. And this is also a great testament to why those moras are so great and why I love them. Let's see if I can't get that blade out. Oh, man. Yeah, look at that guy right there. But that's also something for consideration. If you're looking to get into bushcrafting and you want a hard use knife, don't go with a rat tail tang. This is a budget knife video. Check my next video if you want to see something you can really beat the shit out of. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. But for concluding thoughts, not to keep this too long, but if you're looking for a budget option, these Mora knives, they come in so many different colors, so many different designs. There's something out there for everybody. They even have wooden handle knives. I'm looking at getting, I think they're called the Classic line. And they also have really expensive full tang knives that you don't have to worry about batoning and breaking your blade off, you know. These are such great options, and for the price point, I don't see why anybody wouldn't go out and get one. And with that, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.